You are watching a clip from the Sports and Sorts podcast.
Do you think that McCarthy is on the hot seat?
Without a doubt. Yep.
Do you think that there is more likelihood that he is going to be gone after this year?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 60-40, yeah, he's out. By the way, you're going to hear that 60-40 percentage come up later in the show, not related to football, but you will hear that again later.
About the chances of divorce after the whole dog issue?
No.
I didn't know if it went from 80-20 down to 60-40, like it's getting...
The dogs are doing well right now,
That's
so
great.
things are okay with the dogs. So no, but you are going to hear that 60-40 again, and it's not a 60-40 that I'm happy about either. So
I think I know where that's
you
going.
probably know where I'm going.
I think I have an idea.
Yeah, we'll get into that though.
All right, so
but I would say, well, look, what are the Packers now? Are they 4 and 5? 4 and 5.
4, 5, and 1.
4, 5, and 1. I'm sorry, but that's just a real disappointment. I mean, they've lost, I think, 3 of their last 4, and the only win that they got in there was against the Dolphins, against a bad, banged-up Dolphins team in Green Bay. I mean, that was a game you were going to win with your eyes closed. But yeah, I mean, there's no excuse here anymore because Rodgers, for the most part, I mean, yeah, he suffered that injury earlier in the year, but he's been primarily healthy, and you really don't have much of an excuse here if you're Mike McCarthy. I mean, yeah, your defense is not great, but you have the best quarterback on the planet, and he is relatively healthy. Does he need some more weapons? Yeah, especially at wide receiver. But you know what? Devontae Adams is an absolute stud, and Aaron Jones is looking like he's turning into a very reliable ball carrier too. But at some point, there's just no more excuses for Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy, look, he's a good coach. He's won a Super Bowl. And he's been there a long time. He's one of the longer tenured coaches in the leagues at this point. But, look, the NFL is just one of those leagues that not only does it have a lot of turnover, but sometimes it requires a lot of turnover. Mm-hmm. And I think Mike McCarthy might just be one of those guys like a Marvin Lewis and like who else do we know? Who am I thinking of? Who am I missing like off the top of my head? That's absolutely Hugh Jackson. Well, no, not Hugh Jackson.
He got fired already.
Oh, and even and I hate to say it, well, I kind of hope that this guy becomes the next Dolphins coach, but John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just run your course with a coach. And in football, that turnover is a little more frequent than it is in other sports. And a lot of that has to do with the salary cap and the fact that there's so much parity in the league, or that there's supposed to be so much parity in the league. You're all operating with the same salary cap. And for the most part, all these teams are very, very profitable, and they can all afford to go right up to that salary cap. So it's harder. You don't have as many excuses in the NFL as you do in baseball, or maybe even in some other sports. But the NFL especially, where you can get out of contracts a lot easier than you can in other sports, your excuses and your time runs very, very short. The sands through the hourglass go very quickly. And
those are the days of our lives.
I set myself up for that one. But it's true. And I think McCarthy is not only on the hot seat, but I expect him to be gone. Unless there's a big turnaround for this Packer team, I expect him to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he's actually a good coach? Or has he been kind of sheltered by Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, it doesn't hurt when you have Aaron Rodgers, but I guess you could theoretically. I guess you can't really ask the same thing about Brady Belichick because they not only have they just won 1, but they've won 5, and they've had a sustained run of excellence. Whereas with the Packers, it's been a lot of inconsistency. Yes, I mean, there's a good chance that Aaron Rodgers has propped up Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
pretty well. It's hard to take away when you've won a championship, it's hard to take it away from a guy. I mean, it really is. I mean, yeah, you could call it kind of like fluky or whatever, but it's tough. It's tough to take it away from him. I mean, he's got it. He did win it. But I think he is a good coach. But again, I think it's just time for him it's probably time for him to move on. It's probably time for the Packers to move on.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have just watched a clip from Sports and Sorts, where we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on YouTube. Thanks for watching.